such a fucking lady.
But you say that you want to do Sephora haul every week.
Yeah, but like a Sephora haul, when I say a Sephora haul, I mean spend like $800 to $1,000. Yeah. So it's not like, oh, I want to go to Sephora and pick up some eyeliner. Like, I'm like, nah.
I bought 4 things today. It was $123.
Yeah, and that's easy.
From Ulta.
And you gotta think about it. You know, I buy skincare stuff and shit like that from Sephora. And like my fucking moisturizer is $89. So, or was it 79? It's around that. It's something 9. I don't know why those 9s at the end. It's like an illusion. It's like a marketing tactic.
The 9?
Yeah. It is. Okay, so
I'm like, yeah, you see me? I'm like, explain.
Okay, it is. I don't remember the real answer as to why it's like a marketing tactic, but it really is like to like put a 9 at the end. It kind of gives like an illusion, or like they say something like don't put a like when you're giving somebody a quote, don't put a $sign in front of it. Like it makes the number look bigger, like smaller or something like that when you add like certain numbers to it. So they say because like if I put 69, it's like, well, it's not $70. You get what I'm saying? I think that's the mindset.
Okay,
it's like
I can see that.
Like Shakira's father, I never forget when we was like younger. He always was like, when you ask a man for money, always ask for like a random ass number. Like never ask for like
$400
for $400. He always be like ask for like $467. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then you like typically they'll send you more than what you're asking for because you set like an exact price or like a weird number. Like so I never forget that.
It off. I get that.
Yeah, we was like I feel like I don't know if it was younger then or like in high school, but I never forget him telling us to always ask a man. We would ask somebody for some money, never ask for a set price. Like ask for like a random ass number. So I always do that when I'm asking for money. And I'm like,
y'all hear that, ladies? Good advice.
Good advice, yeah.
So number 467, not
460. Well, I mean,
or 400.
What's the minimum you think somebody should be? I guess whatever you need, but it's like, well, you gotta depend on the guy you deal with.
I was about to say it depends on the man
you dealing with, right?
Yeah, it depends on the man.
You do ask within his bracket. Like you don't want to be. Don't ask somebody for some shit that you know that they cannot deliver. Like you know.
You're not gonna ask the Foot Locker manager for $500.
I mean,
you're gonna ask him for $100.
If he a party promoter, you can. And I'm just kidding. And I almost didn't say it, and then it just jumped out of me. So I just added it. What it is.
Let's see a party promoter.
You know what I'm saying? Then I guess you can ask them for it. You
on that note?
Ooh, y'all. So
tell them, please do.
Listen, I'm gonna tell them, and I'm gonna tell them the truth.
What's your truth?
I'm gonna tell them that you're a swindler.
I'm a swindler. Tell them how I swindled you, please.
A swindler, a handler.
A handler.
I can think of a lot of things that would describe you today in this past whatever time period. But what I'm trying to say is that I feel like I was coerced into something.
How was that?
So I didn't know what I'm saying is like Deja created today's outline, like what the topic was gonna be, right? So it was her idea. So I'm like, okay, cool. So get notes together, blah blah blah. So when she sent me her notes, her title, I'm just like, wait, oh, you diving deep, ain't it?
Well,
you never said,
because we had a whole conversation yesterday, y'all.
Okay.
We had a whole conversation, and she said, well, give me examples of what are you trying to say, or what are you trying to talk about? Right. So we had a conversation, and then I was like, see, this is what I'm trying to talk about. Okay. And so go ahead.
So what you were trying to talk about was a conversation that we were having at that period, right? Mm-hmm. And so you said, okay, yeah, that's what I mean. I'm like, okay, well okay, cool. Like that's easy money. I got you. Right. But what I'm saying is that, like, right, when it's the title, it's the T word right here that I didn't know was like I didn't know. So it made me feel like our vibe, right? But I just thought that it was about our. I just didn't know that
about our.
It just felt heavy. It just felt heavy to me when I looked at it today. I'm just like, oh, okay, well, she want to get heavy, so I'm gonna bring in the big dog because clearly she want to go deep.
She want to cry, and she want to cry.
No, she want to cry, but she ain't want to tell me she want to cry. And that's all she had to say. So we drinking Henny today. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got no tequila, so cheers.
Well, we got some tequila.
We do, but.
Oh, I got to tell you about Goody Bottle. Before I had. Oh my God.
Y'all see, if y'all watching, this can fit underneath. Y'all see how big these shot glasses is? These not. I mean, they may be creating an illusion.
Why would you tell them?
But oh my gosh, they like she went down so hard. She went down hard and heavy.
Oh, how I missed you.
Hard.
Hennessy and Red Bull.
Hennessy.
I've been drinking tequila for the last 5 months.
I feel like Hennessy makes you just feel like.
And I'm outside of the club and they think I'm a bug.
That's how you feel. That's how I feel tequila. Henny made me feel like what people say is you either want to fight or fuck. And I'm just like, fight, fuck, or cry.
Yeah, I can do all of them.
With Hennessy make me like, I'm not as lit as I am on tequila. Tequila, I'm just like, do. And I feel like that's how my brain is typically. But on Hennessy, I'm kind of just like, I be sipping this shit, and then I be like, oh, I'm lit.
On tequila?
Tequila, I know I'm lit. I can taste the litness.
I haven't been like out on tequila. So it's only
You ain't been out on tequila. What you mean you ain't been out on tequila?
I mean, I've been out by myself, but not like with us at the club.
Like an evening.
A good night. You know what I'm saying? One of those nights.
So you've never had any of those off tequila?
No, because I've only been drinking a few months. And
a few months?
Tequila, have I not only been drinking for a few months?
I don't know. It feels like a year.
No, ma'am.
It feels like
Absolutely
a year. It feels like a year. I'm about to run some videos back. I don't know. It feels like a year. It feels like a year for me.
Please.
It feels about a year.
It feels about a year.
And at least a year. At least a year. I bet at least a year.
Oh, it is.
Like, bitch, you motherfucking tried.
We did order tequila for my birthday last year. That second bottle was that.
Bitch, you motherfucker. Because I was doing a couple things and it won't that, but yes.
I was like maybe 4 or 5 months. It's not been that.
You try to scale it back. Bitch, you been on tequila for like 2 years now.
No, not 2.
About 2 years now.
I said a year and a half, but 2?
Okay, when we went to Miami for my birthday, what was we drinking?
I bought that gallon of Hennessy.
Oh, you right. We was all drinking Hennessy and tequila. You right. Okay. What about my 31st birthday? Oh, at the cabin. So that's a year. That's more than a year at the cabin.
It was Hennessy at the cabin. What are you saying? And I brought Hennessy.
But you was drinking. But you
did
the tequila tasting.
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
No, I didn't.
Whatever. She been drinking it for a year. She can't prove otherwise. So
I would say a year from March.
We'll say a year from now.
Yes.
And that's the thing in life. Sometimes you gotta just let people be who they want to be.
Absolutely. And that's what I've learned.
Have you?
Yes.
Go on.
In friendships and relationships, you just gotta let people be who they are. When they tell you who they are, believe them. I have a hard time believing them.
What you mean by that? Like,
because you can tell me that you don't want to be in a relationship, but for me, that means challenge.
Does it?
Yes.
Is that more of a you era or them era?
A me.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you say, right now I ain't looking for a relationship, in my mind I'm like, yeah, he ain't looking for a relationship till I show him.
Okay.
Ready for one.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, it's a challenge. Now I gotta show you like you ready.
Yeah.
I'm the one.
I feel like a lot of times we all think that. And I think we discussed in the past, like making people feel like they're ready or convince them that they're ready. But I think the main point is that, like, not even just a relationship, but like when not even people just showing you, it's them not telling you, it's them showing you who they are. So most time for me, it's more so like I've learned in dating that like a lot of people are not going to tell you who they are. They're going to show you who they are more than they're going to tell you. So, like, for instance, you can date somebody and they can say, oh, I want this, that, and the third, but their actions don't show anything towards that. So I've been talking to people and they've told me like, oh, I want a relationship, all that stuff. But this is like, you don't even act like a boyfriend.
Okay, so my experience has been different.
Mm-hmm.
My experience was like, yeah, maybe I could be in a relationship. I don't know if I'm ready. But then all of your actions were like, yeah, relationship. Yeah, let's sleep at your house every night. Yeah, let's get a place together. Yeah, oh, now we got a place together, but I don't really want to be in a relationship. So all your actions were saying relationship until you were in it. And then you were like, oh shit, no, this not really what I want. Was JK just playing. You talked me into this. You talked me into getting this place with you. You talked me into, but I didn't force your hand.
Right. But do you think that situation applies to every dating thing that you've been through, or I feel like that situation is more so an anomaly, opposed as opposed to the opposite, meaning that most of the times people are showing the opposite. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like that situation, you're clearly.
His main thing was always my. Can't you tell by my actions? My actions. You always want what is it? Reassurance. But my actions, you always want me to say it. But my actions should show you that I love you. My actions should show you that I want to be here with you. Yeah. And so those were the things, and it was just like, damn, okay, yeah. And then you realize that it was a facade.
But I always, not even a but. So, because I'm not just accounting what you said.
Yeah.
Because I feel like sometimes when people say but, it's like but. I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. I agree with what you're saying. I also want to add that a lot of times people have an idea of what they want, right? Mm-hmm. And they think they want certain things, but it just shows differently, or they're like, it's always, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
or they're like communicating
until
differently.
They're in it.
Or until they're in a situation.
Yeah.
They don't really know what they want.
Right.
Until they're in the situation, or they know what they want, or they think they know. Because like for me, like I said before, I've been before on the podcast, like I've been in situations where I think I know what I want, and then I get into a situation and I'm just like, wait, is this what I really want? Mm-hmm. Because like that doesn't mean he don't know what he wants. It just means sometimes it changes and it's like, hey, I don't want this any further. Right. But the growth would be saying, hey, I no longer want these things that I told you that I wanted. Right. And a lot of times people don't take the steps to take that like growth or like initiative or being mature or being responsible and be like, hey, I don't want to be here anymore, and I know I told you that we was going to sail into the motherfucking sunset, but the shit broke down last month and I never let you know.
Right. Yeah. And then you pour into these people and you forget about yourself. Mm-hmm. And so it slows down your bag. It slows down all of the steps that you've taken forward to make yourself better because you thought that you were going to be in this relationship with this person, mm-hmm. and y'all were going to build each other up. Mm-hmm. So now I'm thinking, and you saying that you want to do these things and we want these things together. So now, and I think that a lot of us females do it. I'm not going to say all of us, but some mm-hmm. of us get into these situations or these relationships and I won't say forget, but we slack on the things that are personal growth for our businesses, for ourselves and our mental health. We let those things go because we so tunnel vision on this man and building this empire together with this person mm-hmm. that we forget about ourselves.
Well, why do you think that is? And do you think that happens the same way with men in relationships?
No, I don't think that men do that at all. Men never lose focus of whatever their goal is. But I won't say we, just some of us females are more, we think of the broader picture. And men just think of their tunnel vision in themselves. And so I think that is where the disconnect comes.
I get what you're saying. But I feel like that's the responsible thing to do, is to think about yourself and your goals. Like, you dating people and putting them first and forgetting, that is one of my biggest fears, right? Mm-hmm. So I'll say it this week in my relationship now. I feel like that a lot of times I can't say I don't think I've slacked on the things that I've done, right? But I've always been thinking about like making sure that I'm not forgetting the things that are priorities to me and that are responsibilities to me and things that I want to accomplish within my relationship. And like, I feel like for him sometimes when he's like, so he travels for work. So because he travels for work, a lot of times he wants to be home with me, and I'm always just like, go to work, go to work, go to work. And I think that for him, it's just like, damn, bitch, you don't want me around. And I'm like, no, don't let me stop the bag or the focus of what the goal was, right? Because I feel like where I'm at in my life, I've done that so many times. I agree with you, like, when you're dating people, a lot of the times you get sucked into the fucking relationship whirlwind. And then once you get into that, like, into the whirlpool and you in the motherfucking washing machine and you going in circles, it's like, I'm in love, I want to be around you, we're around each other, I'm not around you, I'm trying to be around you. Like, it's like you thinking about that person, but like
there's an
agenda, and there's a goal, and like you can't lose sight of that goal because of somebody else. And not even just because of somebody else, you have to find a way to incorporate them into your plan, into what your life is. And I first about this podcast, like, it doesn't matter like what I have to do like work wise, like for my business. I'm always like, let me find a way to make sure that like I'm still like filming or doing this. Like no matter what it is, you have to incorporate the person, the relationship, everything into one fold and not make it like something totally separate, if that makes sense. Like for instance, like he'll go with me to go work. Like he'll go to me to drop food off or whatever the case may be.
Right.
And even though we're not going on a date, but we're still around each other. So it's like, you gotta get that shit where you can get that shit at. Cause like, at the end of the day, the world is gonna keep turning. And like, you can't not accomplish your goals because you're with somebody. And I feel like I was that person when I was younger. But like, I always want to date people, and I said this before, I always want to date people that like motivate me. If you're not motivate me to want to do better, I can't, this is why I don't date broke people. And this is gonna sound crazy. This is not, when I say I don't date broke people, it's because it's about the motivation, the ambition. So when I'm always talking to somebody, I'm always trying to pour life into you, like, oh, you can do this, oh, go ahead and do it. Or step on our thing. Well, go ahead and, or figure out a way. So, but I want that in return. So it's like, I have to date people who make me feel like I want to grow or I want to be better, or that the place that I am right now ain't the end goal.
Yeah, so for me, this was the first time that I've ever dated someone who made me just forget about everything. I've always been that person and that friend that's just like, girl, that nigga gonna be there when we get back. Like, come on, let's just go out. Fuck these niggas, we'll see them when we get home. And then I got into my last relationship and all of that stuff went out the window, and I was just like, damn, this is what my friends be talking about. This is why my friends would be like, fuck you and go hang out with their niggas. This is why my friends, right, you know what I'm saying? But I have never felt like that before. I was just like, oh, when you grow up with a mother like mine and she teach you things at a younger age, then you go off of that. And then when those things aren't working for you, then you try different things. And so for me, that was me trying something different. Like, well, this is what my friends usually do. Let me see how this work out for me. And it was just like, all right, well, now I want to be with you every day. If I made plans with my friends, fuck my plans with my friends. Like, I just want to hang out with you, whatever you want to do. And at first it was cool, and then you realize that they don't like that as much, and maybe you don't even I didn't even like that as much.
Right.
Because that's just not who I was. So now this person has a perception of who they think I am. And this is the second time that somebody has had a skewed perception of who they think I am.
Skewed.
Skewed. I've been drinking. Right. And so now this is the second time that somebody has had a skewed.
Yeah, it was just scripts.
perception of who I am. And so then now that the perception is skewed, I can't go back and be like, well, nah, that ain't who I really am. This is who I really am.
But you can though. Because like, I feel like when you first start dating, it's like everybody shows their representative. Right? So it's like, I'm showing you my representative and this is who I want to be. But bitch, this ain't who I am yet, and we working towards that. Like, I'm working towards who I want to be. And in that, I'm trying to find balance in between being there for you and being there for my friends. So most of the times, our relationships don't last through us figuring that step out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, this relationship for you didn't last through figuring that out. But like, everybody has to go through that. Like, trying to find a balance between like friends and relationships. And that's the hardest thing. Like, a lot of times we don't give our friends the grace that we give men we date, or vice versa. Like, we talked about 2 episodes ago. And so it's like, I feel like you need to be able to give your friends and the people that you date the same amount of grace. And hear me out when I say this. So
tell me more.
So it's like this idea of like, people always say like, oh, you don't want to tell, if you tell your friends too much, then they'll hate the person that you're dating, right? And so it's like, you're gonna hate who I'm dating if I tell you too much. But that's not it doesn't matter if you hate them or not, right? It matters how you act when we are present and we are all around each other. I don't give a fuck if you want that nigga's fucking house to burn down with his mama in it. I don't care. But what I care about is that when we are in close proximity, you're acting accordingly. You're not acting like I told you
I hate this nigga. Why are we here with this man?
Oh God,
why you got him around?
Why you always bring him
all
around?
the sound effects and the
Play it the fuck cool, because I'm telling you as a sounding board. So like, I said to say that I don't agree with the fact that you shouldn't tell your friends. And now, of course, I don't believe you should tell everybody everything in your life.
Detail.
That's
I
ridiculous.
think you shouldn't tell them every detail, but you know, your friends are your outlets.
And that's what I want to, exactly. So I feel like, when people are like, oh, well, I don't vent to my friends. Well, why? Sometimes you're annoyed. Sometimes I want to get shit off my chest. You don't gotta tell them everything that goes on in your life. That's unreasonable. But sometimes you do want to talk.
Right. And also, if I'm talking to you, you don't always have to respond. Not saying that you do, but I'm saying in general. When you talking to your friends, they don't always have to respond. They can just listen.
Yeah.
They can just listen, and if you need them to respond, you can ask them, well, like, what do you think, or how do you feel? But sometimes you just want to vent, because that's your fucking friend. And she could call that nigga ain't shit, she could call that nigga stupid, dumb, whatever the fuck. But leave that in that conversation.
Your friend is supposed to ride for you.
That's it.
But at the same time, do not let other people's relationship standards change how you think about what you want or your standards in life.
Right.
So, a lot of times, I hate saying I feel like, my God, I feel like, but I feel like a lot of times, like, your friends have different views on relationships. Like, some of them want to be monogamous, some of them want to be poly, some people want to, like, go on vacation and have other people. Like, you can't look at somebody's life and take it verbatim, like, oh, well, this person is successful and their marriage is successful, so I'm going to copy their exact mode. You're not dating their exact person. You know what I'm saying? So you have to take bits and pieces of the things that you find positive and reasonable and ethical to your moral standards. Everybody's moral standards is not going to be the same as yours, even your friends. Yeah. And I'm like, I accept my friends for who they are, but that doesn't mean I want their relationships. So you can't look at theirs and be like, oh, well, she allowed this, I'm allowed this. Or she like this, I'm allowed this. If you don't want your nigga to fuck other bitches, don't go for that shit just because you feel like...
Right, because such and such do it.
Oh, it's cool. Or I've seen this in the media, or blah, blah, blah. You have to do what makes you happy.
I think that's one of my favorite things about our relationship is that we could tell each other deepest, darkest secrets, or we could tell each other what the hell is going on in our relationship, every single detail, and I'm not gonna judge you for what you got going on, and you're not don't judge me for what I got going on. Because it's just like, that's you. And this me. And this how we handle our relationships.
And we know how to act around each other's people that we're dating. There's never you would think me and Dish don't know none of each other's business, baby. Because we just be like, oh, it's cool, we just I
don't even know what you're talking about. She didn't tell me that.
It's something that one time we was in Smyrna. But that was something different. Because he tried to call us like that.
Okay. Woo! I got kicked out.
Well,
let's just say that.
Live with us. You gonna leave? Well, we was already heading out.
Right. That's what she was here for.
We was headed out regardless. And you're right. She shouldn't have been arguing with you. You should have been arguing with her. But okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go with her because we was already going out. Right. So yeah, that was treacherous. But in general, like you gotta learn that like your friends' relationships and yours are totally.
That was the first and the last time too.
And don't compare. So, but that was a whole different situation though, because even though this is not on, that was totally different because I feel like, so there's certain times where like I will agree with the person who's not my spouse, and there's a couple of times that's happened, and it's because like I'm 10 toes in what I believe. Right. So like I believe that you should not be arguing or bringing up controversial head-button topics in front of someone's friends, right, or parents or siblings. So there's certain things that you shouldn't be bringing up. So if I feel like you bringing some shit up and you want to kick it off, then we kicking it off.
And whoever you brought it up in front of whoever's there, so right, now they're in it.
Now they're in it because you brought it up and we're in mixed company. So that's my biggest thing. Like, don't bring that shit up if you don't want that shit brought up. Because like now we're here and now we're kicking it off, and now it's a like division.
Right. I agree, because listen, if it wasn't kicked off, I wouldn't have said my input. But what you're not gonna do is argue with nobody, especially not none of my friends, about no petty shit in front of me. If you didn't want me to be in it, or if you didn't mention my name, or if you didn't, any of that.
And that's on period.
And that's on motherfucking period.
So you can get what you want.
I agree.
I feel like a lot of times, like, settling is the easiest thing to do. Because we feel like we're with somebody and I'm happy, or I'm comfortable enough, or he does enough of this, or I get enough of this, or she is okay and my family likes her. But in your core, you need to figure out what really makes you happy and know that you can get whatever it is you want as long as you know what you want. Right. And we keep talking about knowing what you want. A lot of times people don't know what they want.
That's a fact.
But
also, I think that people overthink things. And when I say overthink things, I think that people overthink like, damn, and I'm gonna use men as an example. I think that men be like, oh damn, I really like this girl, but she's a bartender. I can't bring her home to my mom. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But girl,
I'm sorry, but that just goes back to knowing what you want. Right, so like, that's what I'm saying. If you want love and she loves you how you want to be loved, her being a bartender is on the back end. Right. I get what you're saying.
But we all overthink sometimes, and sometimes we overthink things to the point that we ruin something that could have been so beautiful.
I don't know, I do overthink, but like, I'm gonna tell you something right now. Like, my motherfucking woman's intuition, ain't nobody gonna tell me that I'm not motherfucking right, and that's just that on that. Like, I could be wrong, but
do you think that your overthinking ever ruins anything? Or do you think, because I think that overthinking could ruin it, or overthinking could lead you to you knowing what you really want, what you should. Overthinking could lead you to what you should and shouldn't be doing. So
I wouldn't know because I still overthink. So I don't know if it ruined anything. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I've been with somebody and like I'm trying to think, because like I overthink all the time, so like it's a way of life for me. And like, if you got like anxiety and overthinking is 1 and 1, so it's like I'm always overthinking. So I'm like, I don't know if it ruined something. I just know that shit didn't work, and you know what I'm saying. And I'm the prize, so then it just didn't work. So I move on and I figure out what's next. Right. But I don't think I've overthought my way out of a situation, because anytime I thought something negative about somebody, or I've had a feeling that something was going on, I ain't never been wrong. I'm motherfucking Blue's Clues. I'm Bill Nye the Science Guy. I'm Dora the Explorer. I'm motherfucking Carmen San Diego. whatever the fuck I need to figure out and find out, I figure that shit out. So I can't say that I've been wrong about the things that I've figured out because they were happening. You know what I'm saying? Was I overthinking originally to get to me being Carmen Sandiego? Probably. But now we're here and I'm right. And you was being a dog. Right. So how can I feel like, you get what I'm saying? Sometimes you are overthinking and then you be like, damn, wait, hold up, he is doing me wrong.
Right. Or sometimes I've talked myself out of some things.
Like what?
Out of relationships that I know, and at the time, it wouldn't have been me settling. It would have been me going for what I want. But looking back, I would know that I would have settled.
Talk yourself out of it. How? Like, what do you mean? Like, okay,
or
you're dating a type of guy.
Okay, I'm dating this guy, and he checks every fucking box, right?
And what are the boxes?
He's tall. He's chocolate.
Okay.
And when I say tall, he's
superficial.
Right. He's chocolate. He has a really good job. He's really good to me.
Okay.
Everything that I want to do, we always doing it. It was great, right?
And you overthought.
I overthought. And I went with the scamming ass nigga who I didn't know.
What was your overthink though? What was
my
your
overthought was like, oh my God, he's not like outside. Like it was stupid things like, oh, he don't go outside like that. I like to go outside. Like he work a 9 to 5. Like, you know, stupid shit.
Right.
And I was just like, fuck. Now I'm here with this scamming ass nigga who I didn't know was engaged to his baby mom. He just had a baby with 2 weeks ago.
Well,
and I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, damn. I was happy with the other guy, but the other one, it was just like, he don't work, he do what I want to do, I could be up under him whenever I want to. Like, it's just good, it feel good, it's, you know, it's fun, it's fresh. And instead of going with the guy who I knew was good for me, who I really liked, who was willing to give me all the things that I wanted, I chose the latter because it was fun.
So you feel like overthinking has ruined situations that could have been positive in that moment?
Yeah, because if I liked him then, you know, I doubled back on him and then I realized I don't really like this nigga. But at that point, I really liked him. But because he went to work every day, and because he wasn't outside all the time, or he wasn't spinning a bag how I thought he should have been spinning the bag, even though he was make sure I was fed.
So I don't know if that's overthinking as more so if that's just like not having personal growth, right? Being superficial and not having, that's not you overthinking a situation. So when I think about overthinking, right, I'm thinking like, so boom, you're dating somebody and they always work night shift and you keep thinking like, well, what's he doing there? What is he doing there? Then you pop up at his job and you sit outside his job and then you like see him because he works outside, hypothetically.
Right.
He works outside and he's just working and you show up there fucking for 2 months straight and he's doing the same thing. And then you've overthought yourself to the point that like, this has not produced anything that was valuable to me or it has created anything more positive. So in that situation, like I feel like that's more so of you not having personal growth to know that the nigga who doesn't appear to be a certain kind of way can also be a good guy.
But I knew that he was a good guy, and I knew that that's what I should have been doing.
But that's not what. But I feel like that's personal growth. You didn't grow enough to see that until now to be like, okay, well, you know
what?
No,
I knew that in that moment.
Okay.
I knew that. I 100%. He only had one kid. His kid was a little bit older, so it was just like, you know. She called and she come around when she wants to because she's a little older. Right. He wanted more kids. He was ready for marriage. He was ready for babies. He was ready to give me, I didn't have to do anything. And that's what I wanted and I knew that's what I wanted, but I got cold feet and I got scared because fuck, I prayed for this man and God sent him to my front door. And he wasn't a scammer. He wasn't a trapper. He wasn't a basketball player. He had the height of it. Right. He could, you know what I'm saying? He had the look of it. But it wasn't that. And so it's just like, girl, go with it. This nigga gonna make sure he gonna give you everything you want to. And he did not do any of that. He secluded me from everybody. He made me, you know what I'm saying? And it was just like, fuck. Because I talked myself out of it, because I was overthinking it, and I was thinking that this is what I wanted more than that, even though I prayed for that man and God put him in my front door, I didn't end up with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you feel like that situation has had an impact on your life's trajectory?
I thought so. I
In the
did
past?
think so. Yeah, in the past. And then I reverted back to my old way. That clearly didn't get me far.
So I get what you're saying in that situation, but to me I still don't think that's overthinking, because I don't know when the definition of overthinking.
Well,
but to me, I still feel like in that situation you were more so needing growth than you overthinking it. Because I'm like, overthinking is like something that you already know is happening, or you think you know what's happening, right? And then you're like overthinking the outcome of something. And like for him, it's just like, I don't know if you're overthinking the outcome as more so as which was presented in front of you, like, and then the outcome more so as in like, am I ready? Because I feel like overthinking is more like present, like go into the future, like I'm overthinking what could happen, and then you being present and not having growth is more so of like, okay, I don't know what this might lead, so I picked the wrong one. Because I've been there before.
I think that I overthunk it, and then because I was overthinking it, there wasn't growth.
Right.
So I was overthinking like, fuck, this nigga really want what I want, and I really want this, but like, oh my God, now I got cold feet, so let me talk myself out of it.
Right.
And it's just like, I was in a frenzy. You know, this little SpongeBob me when he like.
I think the best way to remedy any situation, and this is how I'm in my present tense moving forward in any relationship I have or anything going forward, is like, you need to have a set of non-negotiables and stick to it. So you have to know what your non-negotiables are, right?
Right.
And a non-negotiable isn't like, oh, well, I like him, so it's okay. This one thing is okay. No. A non-negotiable means it does not matter who is presenting this thing. I will not negotiate or fold on this unless this is changed or this does not come with this package. And I think a lot of times when we get into relationships, we get head over heels and we start liking people and we have a perception or we feel a certain kind of thing or whatever it is. And then next thing you know, we're starting to fold and fucking fumble and be okay with things that I thought this was your non-negotiable. I thought you said this is what you want. Yeah. I think the older you get, and this is something I've learned like with growing and getting older, is like, the older you get, the more firm you get in like, this is what I want, and I'm not going for this shit. This is what I want, I'm not going for this shit. And even the age we're at now, right, we're still learning. But as the years progress, I promise you, like, life toughens you, it hardens you, it shows you that you have to stick to your fucking guns, you know? It shows you a lot of things. So like, the longer you go on and you date people, you learn a lot of different things about dating. So you have to know what your non-negotiables are. I would say that mine would be, first one is stability. I'm not playing around with you. You gotta go to work. You got to have a job. And I don't mean just have a job. You need to be independent rent. Like, I don't want to play that game of like, oh, we might have to do this, do that. It's between holding people down in situations where shit goes left and you have to step up to the plate and completely be in the plate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I have no interest in dating a man who wants to be a stay-at-home dad. And some people do. Yeah. Some bitches want to be boss-ass bitches, and that's once again, goes back into you knowing what you want. So if you want to be a boss-ass bitch and him stay at home, then say that. For me personally, I am not interested in dating a man who wants to be a stay-at-home dad. I don't want to be your hero. I don't want to rescue you. I don't want to save you. You know, like, I want you to be stable. And that's what I learned from all of my relationships. I've never been in a relationship, like an actual relationship with anybody who was not stable, ever. I've never been in a relationship with somebody who did not have more than me.
Right.
Or who I thought had more than me, right?
Right.
Mentally, physically, and it was all financially. I ain't never been in a relationship with somebody who ain't have more money than me. And that's that on that. And I'll be honest, because I know that so stability, trust, I need to be able to trust you. Like, once trust is broken, it's hard to go back. I've never untrusted somebody and was able to gain that trust back. I'm not saying it's impossible,
right?
But I've never like been like, oh, this nigga done fucking fumbled the trust bag and now I'm back. Mm-hmm. So I need to be able, for you to be stable, I need to be able to trust you, and I need you to be able to be soft with me. That's another thing that's like major with me. I cannot do aggression. When I feel like somebody is volatile or it's always like the energy, I need my nigga, because sometimes I'm on 10, right? But I need my nigga's energy to always be at a 6. I don't need a nigga that go above a 6. If you get too angry, too hyped, I need you to stay calm at all times. When you upset at me, I still want you to approach me with love. Mm-hmm. I don't ever want to feel like my man is being, because let's be clear, in any relationship with a man and a woman, you can overpower me. 9 times out of 10, it doesn't matter how skinny your man is, he can overpower you, right? Yeah. So like, I never want to be in a situation where I feel like I can be overpowered, or you can take advantage of me, or you can, do something to me that could be physically damaging or emotionally damaging. So I always want to be able to like talk to, like, if you're upset with me, I want you to talk to me with grace, and I talk to you the same way. Like, I can deliver stuff the way you do. I'm always like, whatever you want, I'm on.
Right.
So do you have a list of non-negotiables?
Ooh.
And have you stuck to them?
No. I mean, I have a list, but have I stuck to them? No, I haven't. Mm-hmm.
So right here, right now, today, you making your brand new motherfucking list of non-negotiables. What's up there that you're sticking to?
That I'm sticking to. Okay, so to piggyback off of you, for sure, I need someone who is loyal. I need someone who is a provider, because I refuse to be, unlike her, I haven't been in a relationship where I have been the sole provider for the both of us. And I've tried that, holding nigga down till he come up, and I held that nigga down, and he came up and he left me. I ain't fucking dry, okay? Now he happy, and then at one point I was sad and depressed, and he was living his best life.
That's real though.
You know what I'm saying? So I'll never do that shit again. If you are not established, I'm not. If you are figuring your shit out, I'm not.
We're just past that age, I feel like.
Yeah, I'm too old for that.
Yeah.
I'm at the age where I want to be married. I want to have a family. I want to, you know what I'm saying? I want to do the 9 yards. Like, that's where I am. So you can't come to me like, yeah, I'm just out here trying to get my CDS. I ain't got them yet. I'm working on, like, right. We won't do that. You know what I'm saying?
I just got my LLC last week. Okay.
Right. Yeah. No. We won't do that. I require someone who can reassure me. And if giving me reassurance is an issue for you, then I can't. You know what I'm saying? Because that is my love language. I need that. I want that. I deserve and require that. And so if you can't do that, then, you know what I'm saying? I can't. I think that is really... So
your hard list is stability,
loyalty, respect, affirmation, words of affirmation. Yeah, that's pretty much you can't not be together.
The things that you require. And
yeah, those are things.
What about monogamy? In your heart. In my heart, I feel like what female doesn't want someone to be monogamous, but also I'm a realist. I'm honest. But you want monogamy though.
I want that, but I'm also realistic. And if I'm gonna be realistic, then I'm gonna. What I will say, I'm not gonna say I want to be with somebody who's loyal to me and who only wants to be with me, but I'm not an idiot. I'm a female. And I'm human. I won't say female, I'm human. And everybody, I know that niggas gon' nig. You know what I'm saying? Niggas gon' nig. If I don't want to hear about it, I don't want it to ever come back to me. I don't want to catch anything. And if there's a baby, then it's a wrap. I could never move forward from that. Ever.
Right.
If a baby, because I can't love that baby the way that baby needs to be loved if you have a baby outside of me.
Yeah.
So I can't do that. But I can't stop somebody from being themselves. But what I can say and what I can do is tell you that I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to know about it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to none of that. Don't ever embarrass me. That is a big thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to be embarrassed. But I can't. We all human. Sometimes I want to flirt.
But I feel like,
but I'm a flirt.
So I feel like, so on my list, I can't, so on my list, on my list of non-negotiables, on my list of non-negotiable, I can't say, it would have to be, if I'm in a relationship, it would have to be ethical non-monogamy, which means we are being honest with each other. You get what I'm saying? And not just non-monogamy where you just living your life and I just don't know about it and whatever happens, happens. I'm not even that kind of bitch. I can't even pretend I want to be motherfucking in the cutting in the fucking blue and in the gray. I ain't no gray ass bitch. We black and white at all times. So it's like, I am okay with ethical non-monogamy. When we come into this, we have set a standard and we've talked about it, and this is what you're looking for, and this is what you desire, and this is what makes you happy. That's something totally different between you just doing shit and me not knowing about it and me not ever like catching it. So it's like, I don't want to not ever catch it, because it's like, I don't want to be with nobody who I feel like would even want to lie to me. I don't want to be so high on a pedestal where you feel like I'd rather be honest with her, and if she leaves, she leave.
I understand that, and I agree with it. But you know, men and people don't always feel that way or think that way.
Right.
And so, I know you don't mind starting over, but me,
it's life. You got to start over.
That many times.
But that goes into y'all. We trying to slide in the street talk, but hold up. But that goes into another one of my motherfucking points. You have to be okay with being alone, baby. I'm always okay with starting over, because like I know that I am the fucking prize. I ain't never had trouble getting a nigga. Like
right,
you get exactly, but you get what I'm saying. Like I have been in situations where I've been like, damn, and I've been hurt when some shit ended. But what I'm trying to tell you is like, you know, I don't want to. I'm a fucking zodiac ass bitch. The price is in me. I'm always just like, you got the move. I'm always ready to motherfucking move on. It's like, right. I can love you to death, and I can give you all of my love when I'm in it. But let me tell you something. When I know that I'm the prize, so I can't never sit around waiting for a motherfucking nigga or feel sad about. No, I didn't say you. I didn't say you. Hold up.
No, I know you ain't say that.
Wait. Or I can't never sit around waiting for you. You waiting for somebody? Who you talking about there?
My phone keep ringing.
Yeah, I know. You keep ringing like you ain't feeling the podcast.
I know. If you keep feeling your wrist vibrating.
So I'm never waiting for a nigga, and I'm also just not like, I can't ever get over somebody, because I'm always just like, if this person was supposed to be in my life, they would completely be in that shit, or they would be in it. So it's like, people, I accept people for who they are, and it's like, I think the biggest thing that I've learned in growth is like, when you say accept people for who they are, it's really being honestly accepting people.
That's one of my favorite lines. You gotta accept people for who they are.
Accepting people for who they are, but also like not lying to yourself. I'm not about to nobody wants to be alone. Like, I feel like I sleep better at night with my nigga in the bed. You know what I'm saying? It makes me happy, but like, if this situation is no longer serving my heart and I'm not gaining anything from this, you got to motherfucking hit the bricks.
I understand that.
You got to hit the bricks. So it's just like, you got to be okay with being alone. That's one of my biggest things with relationships, friendships.
I love being alone, though.
Anything.
That's not even one of my.
You don't really love being alone, because you said on previous podcasts that you don't like to be alone.
I don't, but I'm okay with being alone.
You said you loved it.
Well, let me take that back.
the goal.
Absolutely.
So if you're not getting what you want in whatever you're in, why not start over to get your happiness? So I feel like always. So boom, I was telling this other day, like he got a trucking company, he doing some shit, and he was like trying to transit some shit. And I said, sometimes you gotta do certain shit that you don't want to do to get what you want. And that's just it. Like you have to sometimes. I haven't got enough fucking fingers to count the things that I've done that I didn't want to motherfucking do to get to the end goal or to get what I want. And it's like you gotta have a ton of vision of like what's your motherfucking end goal? What's benefiting in who and what's going on? What's benefiting what you're trying to do right now to get to your ultimate goal? You can't lose that picture. So it's like sometimes you gotta be alone even if you don't want to be in order to elevate and figure out like what the fuck is better for you. Because I'm not gonna sit and fucking be marinating on some fucking nigga who treated me like shit.
Now listen, and this is what I am saying. I'm not saying if I find out that I'm not saying that if I find out this nigga cheating on me, I'ma stick around. Mm-hmm. That's not what I'm saying when I say
what you saying then? What you saying
is if you embarrass me and I find out about it, then I'm out. I'm not saying, and that's a non-negotiable for me now. I'm not saying that that's who I was in the past, because I could have found out in the past that my nigga was cheating on me and I'd have stayed 10 toes down. Mm-hmm. But now I'm saying, if you doing what you're doing, do your thing. Mm-hmm. I'm not about to press you or nothing like that. I'm not even trying to go through your phone unless I'm ready to leave. Ooh. And I already know that you doing something that I know that you fucking doing.
That's my favorite quote. So we'll talk about who is Jesus texting you?
I don't fucking know who is in Seattle fucking calling my phone. I have no clue. No fucking clue at 10 a.m., 9 a.m. I mean p.m.
a.m.
Okay, I have no fucking clue.
What's at 9 a.m.? We could have. Could you imagine us up at 9 a.m. doing this?
No, that's a fucking movie.
Oh my god, we have on scarves.
Yeah, that's what exactly. And no makeup, some shades,
baby.
Okay, but
I
like,
don't want that.
I'm not saying that if I find out this nigga cheating, like I said, that I'm fucking stick around. But what I am saying is, niggas gon' nig, and if you doing your thing and you doing it low key, I can't trip about that. But once it comes to the light and I know about it, oh, I am out. You know what I'm saying? Because as much as I don't want to be alone, I can be alone and I'm okay with it. I love having a person. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I don't need a person. Mm-hmm. I just want you. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, we will slide in to a little street talk.
Street talk.
Y'all ready for some street talk? We gotta make that a drop in real life.
We will.
All right. So let's talk about Tamron Hall's interviews.
Child, Tamron be getting the interviews. Come on, auntie. We'll get up there and talk about something if you want us to.
Okay. Well, let me say this. I do think that her interview with Larsa was a little harsh. I think she got to the point because we all wanted to know the things that she was asking her. Mm-hmm. However, her delivery was a little harsh to me.
Okay.
I think that she could have scaled it back.
I didn't listen, so tell me more.
Okay. So she asked about her dealing with Michael Jordan's son, Marcus Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah, and so
she be confused with Michael B. Jordan,
who
was carrying around headshots in 7th grade. But go ahead.
Not to be confused. Don't let nobody. Anyway, yeah, she asked, the questions that we all want to know about her and Marcus Jordan's relationship, and I think that she answered them to the best of her ability. But it was kind of just like, out of all people, why would you want to date Marcus Jordan and his dad played in the NBA with your husband, your ex-husband, Scottie Pippen? And it was just kind of like, she was like, I mean, I didn't plan it that way. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We have mutual friends. It kind of just happened.
We fell in love.
And I am a firm believer of you can't help who you love.
You really can, man. Oh my God, it be
right. Even if you know in your core of cores, in your heart of hearts, that it's not, you shouldn't be fucking with this person. Like, you can't help who you love. one of those situations. He is 16 years younger than her, and Tamron brought that up, and she was like, he's 16 years younger. How are y'all in the same friend group? And she's like, I mean, I feel like it's Hollywood.
Because money. That's why they in the same friend group. Because the bread is the bread, and the bread's friend. You know what I'm saying?
They all spend the same fucking
legacy.
Okay. And so she's like, well, did you meet
bad bitches?
Did you meet Michael and I always forget.
Marcus?
No, Michael and
Scotty?
Juanita is her name.
Oh, Juanita.
Yeah, the mama.
I love Juanita. I got an auntie named Juanita.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, shout out to Auntie Juanita. But she asked, like, did you meet the parents? Like, how do they feel about it? And she was like, I mean, we've hung out. We spent holidays together. It's been cool. And she was like, everybody's okay with it. Because Scottie Pippen did say that Michael Jordan was so condescending to the point it was just like, so bad, and he just not his friend, whatever. And it's just like, she was like, well, that's their relationship. I don't have nothing to do with their relationship. Me and that man are not married anymore. I'm with this man now, and none of that's relevant. Yeah. We're happy. Yep. And that's all that matters. And that's how I feel.
If she like young dick, she like young dick. Like,
period. She was like, Scottie was 10 years older than her.
It's okay when men do it. When women do it, it's cougars. We all this other stuff of dating young guys, because usually they're not more mature, but like his bread is mature, and she may actually really like him. So
right. And she said they were friends for years before they actually started
dating.
On
Instagram.
What day was that?
I'm kidding. I don't know.
That's what she said.
You ordered the wings already?
Well, I did order the chicken wings.
Okay. I'm sorry. It just jumped out of me. I was eating all
day. They're being prepared.
Okay. And the extra ranch?
And the extra
ranch. Please.
I ordered 2 of them.
2 extra ranches, so they can't play us.
Right.
Okay, because they put.
So if I pick up my phone, once I find out we got an Uber driver,
I won't say anything.
Yeah,
but
I'm gonna
earlier it was.
Make sure. Yeah, I'm sorry, my brother. He didn't know. He didn't know.
Okay.
He was blowing us up.
Okay, shout out to Chaz.
Yeah. Yeah. She also did an interview with Angela Yee. Tell us more.
Okay, I was in the streets, and the streets was talking. Okay, so boom, y'all all know Angela Yee left the Breakfast Club, right? So when she left, like me personally, y'all, like I listen to the Breakfast Club, I listen to Brilliant Idiots, I listen to Lip Service, like I'm dipped and dabbled into all of the fucking viewings, right? Because we on our way, period. Yeah. But I say that to say that like there has been tension brewing in general, like. They tried to play like they was all nice, and I love the professionalism. But it was very clear the last year or two, since at least COVID, that Angela, Charlamagne, and Envy. But that one, even a little before that, I would say, but I feel like that was like the icing on the cake. You ever know like something's brewing over? You can just tell that everybody wasn't on the same page. So like. They probably gave her own station because, of course, like, I'm not saying she's not good at her job, right? But, like, in that setting, it wasn't what it's supposed to be. Right. So, that being said, Angela Yee was on Tamron Hall, and she was pretty much saying that she was the only woman on the Breakfast Club, and she felt like she didn't have anybody to defend her or, like, support her, or if she felt like anything was done wrong to her, like the Gucci Mane interview with Charlamagne, when he was doing those interviews, you know what I'm saying? Those, y'all remember when Charlamagne was doing the one-on-ones, and that's my brother because I want to be on the black thing. And I got the same 6 sense of humor. You know what I'm saying? I love Kansas. So they had a little issue since then, and it hasn't been right. So if y'all notice, I don't know if anybody else has. Ever since COVID happened. And they had the excuses film at home. A lot of times, Angela Yee wasn't in the studio for about a year. Even when they were back in the studio, she was not in the studio. So, like, that's just, me flipping shit. So, she went up there and said, like, she couldn't, like, express herself, or if something was wrong, she didn't have support because there wasn't a woman on the cast. And here come DJ Light-Skin Envy, and I love it. He in the DMs, the comments, he's like big Captain Crunch. Like there's other women or whatever he said, but like his comment was irrelevant, but it was to the point of that, like there was dissension amongst them, right? Mm-hmm. And we all knew that. So I just can't wait for their biopic, because Word on the Street, is they got a biopic coming out. We don't know when it's gonna come out. It could be 5 years from now, but the word is that they're doing a biopic. So
I can't wait to watch.
I can't wait to watch
to
see what really happened. I still watch it. Like I like to like tune in and like see what's the what's, because like at the end of the day, they still part of the streets, and the streets be talking about them. So little mom got up there. She said, "Cat, like sis,
she was a part of the bullshit.
When they was up there on the shits, you was with the shits, and now all of a sudden, like you ain't up there. Now all of a sudden, you big bag and holier than thou." And that's what she said. So like, y'all, we getting this as we're filming, so we will see what the streets is talking about next week with that subject.
Okay, we gonna shed more light to it.
What's all going on? Because I also was on Instagram and I seen that Mimi Fawcett posted Drew Sidora.
And baby, I was getting ready to bring that up. Drew Sidora and her husband. So I'm gonna say allegedly, because when it first hit the streets, it was alleged that her husband filed divorce first.
I feel like we talked about them last year, like when they were like on Street Talk last year.
I believe it, because he wasn't shit last year. We all wanted to know what he was doing in Orlando. Okay? However,
what happened? The assistant. What happened?
Okay. Oh, I was on TikTok today, and the chef, the chef was spilling some tea too, but I couldn't get it.
I don't even know about these sassy chefs. Don't get me started. They're licking mics and shit, filleting salmons in the pool.
First of all, before I get into the Drew Sidora, if I'm a celebrity chef, I'm not getting on nobody's podcast to spill no beans about none of my clients.
Baby, because I mind my business. Let me tell you something.
Celebrity chef.
Let me tell you something. I had a client who was like, "Oh, you knew me. You knew who I was when I booked you." I'm like, "Absolutely. I knew that the other bitch had booked me and you stole me from her and now I'm your chef." So that's really what happened. But why the fuck would I press you to be like, "Oh, who this new bitch?" I don't give a fuck. The money's spending how it's spent, and I'm minding my motherfucking business. What you do in your free time is my business. So hire me, Pull Up Plates LLC or Chef Tay. Period.
Okay. Sous chef.
Period.
But yeah, so it was alleged that he filed first, but they're saying 56 minutes before.
61.
Oh, 61 minutes
61.
prior to his filing, Drew filed. Okay? But I feel like we all seen that coming 2 years ago when she got on the show.
If you watch Housewives, you already know.
Cause
He didn't like her.
He never liked her. That's why he didn't adopt the son.
He said she deserved a Capri Sun or whatever the fuck he said when she confronted him. It's a man. It behooves me.
He's a sassy.
That a man that you confront about some bullshit wants to degrade you at a dinner and said you only deserve a Lunchable or what the fuck he said. I can't remember. It was just corny.
I remember what you talking about. Okay, lobster dinner.
And I just said the fact that he didn't want to adopt her son and he was like, "Oh, because I talked to him and the dad and all the." To me, that's corny, right? Because it's all bullshit. Because I feel like if she's asking you to do a certain thing, that means the father isn't present in a certain way. Just because the father came for camera time to film a video does not mean
it seemed like he was present after he got out.
Does not mean that he's been present in his child's life. And this woman thought that you were special enough to adopt her child and you didn't want to do it, but you wanted to write a book. How you writing a book about co-parenting and being a stepfather without your wife knowing, you cornball?
Silly.
How you writing a book without her? How she don't know what your book is about and she ain't reading yet?
But you a man.
I've never seen it for Ralph. I've just never seen it for him.
Yeah, he's never been my top fave. It always gave, I want to be Darren Davis.
Yes, so get body by Drew. What's going on?
Chris Brown threw a fan's phone off.
They said
the
she was a
stage.
dancer. That's what I heard on the streets. I don't know. That's what I heard on the streets.
Oh, I thought she was just, he pulled her up on stage. He did the little bump and grind on her.
The streets.
And then, that's what the streets be talking. And, sometimes we don't always hear the same
I don't know if it's
words
real.
on the streets. But he threw her phone because she wouldn't put it down. I watched the video and she was trying to
No, it was
It
not.
wasn't?
We have to burp that out because it's not taking you down. 12.
Oh,
Okay, got
fuck.
it. No, okay, I got you. Okay,
Thank you.
okay, baby, no.
Take it down.
She forgot she don't have a bra on. Her titties went in the air.
Hopefully he can censor it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Or he fired. No,
Right. But like,
No, please.
yeah. Luckily, sis got her phone back afterwards.
So I heard she was a dancer. Like, in a sense, like he kind of knew. She was what. I heard she was gonna say she knew she was gonna be on stage or blah blah blah.
Okay,
Who really
okay,
knows,
okay.
right?
I mean,
Who's
because
gonna
it could
call the
be
crowd?
set up.
But why would she still do her phone regardless, even if he actually got her phone? Because when he did the move forward, I know he was talking to her ear because I know motherfuckers niggas be, put your phone down, bitch. I'm about to motherfucking break this shit down.
Right.
I'll throw my leg over
I
your
would have
head
been like,
and do a full Nelson. Like,
calm down. Okay, that should have been my back pocket. I hope one of these.
he ain't
people
tossed
in
it
the
far though.
audience-
He ain't tossed it far though. She got her phone
He
back.
did. She got it back. So that's all that matters to me. You
Free
know,
Chris.
phone
No,
back.
man.
You know what I'm saying? Speaking of tossing, well, crowd surfing. Glorilla decided she wanted to crowd surf, and while she was crowd surfing, they snatched her wig off her head.
That bitch got it sewn in.
And the girl went and got the wig installed, and she said Glow got good vibes, so she hoping that wig bring her good vibes.
I'm FREE fuck wig free.
It was a cute wig too. It was like green highlights. It was
Right, it was
black.
black
It was
with
real
green.
cute.
Okay, I'm really not mad.
I'm not mad at her either. I don't know if I would have installed it, but I would have kept it just to be like Glorilla wig.
Right.
Tim Norman from Sweetie Pies. I don't know if y'all watch.
I still don't fuck with Jennifer, but
I don't fuck with Jennifer either. But
she's so annoying. And not her breast thing, but I don't know her breast thing. So
no, that's what everybody said. Her fucking breast thing.
And at the Marriott,
And I won't even say it alleged.
when I worked at the W in Buckhead, I'm just saying, she used to be there all the time. She was cool though. She used to give me tips and shit. She used to bring her little dog, so I ain't gonna trip.
Well, anyway, Tim Norman was her ex, and Tim Norman is also from Sweetie Pies. I don't know if y'all ever watched it, because I didn't watch that show, so I wouldn't even know what.
I used to watch it.
What channel did it come on?
I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. So yeah, anyway, from Sweetie Pie, I do know the story because I did watch like a documentary, and so his nephew came down
What
from.
documentary you watch?
I don't know if it was documentary or something
TikTok.
on the TV. No, it wasn't even on TikTok. It might have been on TikTok. But so his nephew came down. You know what? It might have been when I first started watching it. I mean, getting on there. But his nephew came down from a city. I don't remember what city.
He didn't like that nigga.
He didn't like him. He tried to send him back, and then he ended up coming back. And then it was a murder for hire situation. He hired somebody to go kill that nigga.
I could never imagine Shakira hire somebody to kill Taylor.
Ever.
Like, I just always wonder,
Why do you hate her that bad or him that bad?
Fuck the fucking niece or nephew. I'm always thinking about the sibling relationship. Because how close are you or not close with you and your siblings to where you feel it's okay to kill their offspring? Is what I'm always thinking about.
Like,
it's just like my mind is like,
and your mom is doing her very best to help this child to get up.
they killed her brand.
He ruined her whole brand with that. Like, flushed it down the toilet, sent it down the drain.
Bye.
Like, oh my god, just to.
You can't miss big like this with family all the time.
You hate your nephew that bad?
He was coming after the bag. He was coming after the bizzle. After the bag. It's a problem.
I saw an interview that Jennifer did, and she said that they were at a restaurant in LA, and some other patrons were like, "Oh my god, we recognize you," and he was like, "Stop looking at us," and they wouldn't stop looking, and he like wipe the whole table of everything they had.
Honestly, he's clearly been volatile. She's put out like a restraining order and massive against him. That's the guy she was going to court against on
about the Range Rover.
Yeah, about everything, about the restraining order. Like he was the crazy nigga. Yeah, he was the crazy nigga she was dating or whatever. The text message she released it. That was like in 2017, y'all. So like she been saying nigga crazy. Now I'm not saying Jennifer is credible because on this season like I'm not really feeling her energy. So that's all I can go off of because I don't know these people. I'm not really feeling her on this season, and I don't like the fact that Malaysia quit because Olivia was hating on her. But can we sit with that? Because I'm just like,
we can.
It's annoying.
I am ready to quit back.
I mean, we can girl chat that if you want.
We can. So let's get back into it. Let's get back, because that's all I got. He's going to jail. He's going to jail for life.
We're going to slide, instead of going back to our topic, we'll go back to it in a second. We're going to slide straight into vibes or nah. And y'all, this week our vibe or nah was, is therapy a vibe? Is going to therapy a vibe? And with 93% of the votes, the answer is yes. Going to therapy is a vibe.
Absolutely, it's a vibe.
I feel like most people who are healed want to go to therapy, or most people who have dealt with people who use therapy in a positive way. Because I think the issue is sometimes people say they're going to therapy and they use it toxically or make an excuse for their behaviors. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, if you're gonna go to therapy, really go to therapy and learn from it and not just still be toxic.
Yeah, I've heard some people who say that therapists condone their toxic behavior.
Yeah, because everybody got different therapists. Y'all gotta understand, therapists are still human, right? Mm-hmm. So like, it doesn't really matter what they go to school to learn. Yeah. Because that doesn't change how their aspects of their perceptions or how they look at life. So you can go to therapy and get a toxic ass therapist. So it's kind of like, it's just like, hope you.
Have you ever seen that one therapist from TikTok?
She funny, a black bitch.
Oh my God, she's so toxic, but I love her.
I hope I don't talk about saying one because I only seen one.
She got fired because the people started calling her.
I didn't see that. I didn't see her getting fired. But what I seen was she would be giving advice. She would be talking shit, but it was funny though. It was funny though. So I hope.
Yeah. I think we talked about she had the braids.
Yep. I was gonna say braids, but I wasn't sure. Okay, so we're gonna get some feedback on what people say who agreed with going to therapy. Someone said you get to unpack your life in a safe space to get to the why of all your bullshit, and that is key. A lot of times people don't know why they acting how they act. So even if your therapist is toxic, sometimes they may tap into like why you're going through this or your childhood trauma. A lot of times people don't want to to relive the past or be in tune with their feelings. So I love that one. Someone said clarity is inner peace, and clarity is really inner peace. Be clear on like what you've gone through and how you feel and what you need and what you want in life. So love that one. Next one we also got is mentally stable friends and partners are top tier. Love it. When you are mentally stable, you act different in relationships. And I don't even know if I'm mentally stable, but I know I'm trying to be. And I'm doing the work to be mentally stable.
I'm on my road to be.
But I've dated people who are not, who don't want to be, and have not made the steps, and it's totally different. We also got, it helps you learn more about yourself. And that's very true. It really does help you learn more about yourself, because some people are scared to tap in and get within. So, on the flip side of things, with the 7% of votes, we have niggas be using that shit as a crutch and an excuse for shitty behaviors. And when she say niggas, she just mean motherfuckers in general.
Yeah.
You using that shit as a crutch. You going to therapy, right? But you're not really trying to learn.
You're not trying to do the work.
Exactly.
You just
people go to therapy to use big words and situations and shit like that to use against you and to manipulate. A lot of times people use therapy for manipulation. So I can say, oh, I'm going to therapy so I'm smarter than you. Or I'm going to therapy so like my words mean more than your words. Or I know what's going on. I'm more healed than you. And a lot of times they're really not.
Right.
And niggas gonna niggas. So we got it's snitching. I don't know what we snitching on, because if you're going to therapy, you're going to help yourself. So who you snitching on?
Did you just say it was a safe space in here?
But that was somebody.
I know.
Oh, it said it's snitching. So yeah, we're gonna go with therapy. It's a vibe, y'all. Like
Have you been or do you plan on going?
But you know I've been to therapy. But I do. You should ask me what I'm going. We're supposed to know what I'm saying. So like, I do want to go to therapy because I feel like everybody fucking needs it. I don't care if you go to therapy. I don't care if you go to a psychologist, biologist, a chemist. I don't give a fuck where you go. Go to somebody and sit down and talk about your feelings and the things that you've been through, and if they can help you figure out your path. Because a lot of times you need an unbiased opinion about the things that you're looking at in life and like healing. We do not take criticism from our friends and family the same way we take it from an outsider. So because you know people and you're telling, and I can sit here and tell Deja the same things, or she can tell me the same things, or a therapist will tell me, but it's never going to be the same insight or feel the same way. Because like, bitch, well, you know that so-and-so did so-and-so to me. How? Of course you saying that. Right. So it's going to come off that way. So it's like, it's about getting an unbiased opinion about your life, somebody who is educated and helping you grow. So I think therapy is a good thing if you are being productive with your therapy and not using it to gaslight.
That's a good one.
To gaslight or to manipulate other people. Mm-hmm. If you're going to go to therapy, use it in the right ways.
Yes.
But I think therapy can be a great tool for relationships. I always wanted to say, like, before I had a child, I always thought, like, not even this therapy, I want to be healed. That's my biggest thing, is being healed from my past traumas before I had a child, so I can reflect those or project those onto her, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not 100% healed. I can admit that. But in my head, I wanted that before I had a child. But now it makes me even more conscious of trying to make the effort of being healed or fixing the things that I don't want her to feel or think before.
Right.
It happens. So yeah, y'all, going to therapy is a vibe. We vibing out.
I definitely think that going to therapy is a vibe, but I don't ever think that we are all fully finished healing. I think that healing is an ongoing thing. Mm-hmm. But what I will say is, as a black
I think we're broken people, though.
Yeah, I agree.
In general.
Yeah, not just
like
specific.
I don't think we're ever fully healed.
Right, ever. I don't think that either. But what I will say is, as a black woman or a black person in general, I started therapy, but my therapist was a white woman. Mm-hmm. And because she was a white woman, the only thing that I learned from therapy from her was smell the flowers, blow the candles. So it's like, breathe, bitch. There was never ever a resolve,
Go ahead.
There was never ever a resolve. There was never ever anything, and so that kind of deterred me or made me like be like, oh, fuck therapy, because I'm not getting anything out of it. Smelling the flowers and blowing out the candles is not working. I'm not a child. I need you to be like, bitch, you stupid. Like, come on, let's. And I think that that's one of the reasons that I really like the therapist that was on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? I feel like she kept it real with me.
She was relatable.
Even if it was toxic or whatever, you know what I'm saying? She would have understood where I was coming from. Whereas though this white therapist, she didn't understand what I was coming from. She didn't understand why I was going through the things that I was going through or feeling the way that I was feeling, because she's never been there. It's not relatable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if you're a black person and you're seeking therapy, if you're thinking about therapy,
I think our trauma isn't relatable a lot of times to them.
Yeah. I think that we go through, different things. So I don't think that a white therapist could help you through the things unless you grew up in like a fucking super suburbia town or whatever. Then maybe I wouldn't know.
Right.
But yeah, it's just how I feel, and I don't suggest white therapists to black people. I think that you should find
who can relate to you. Like, I just feel like that's unrealistic to find somebody to give you therapy about something that they've never been through or couldn't even ever relate to.
Yeah.
You have never walked in my shoes or lived my life experiences. You can't tell me how to think about this life that you could never even imagine living, because you have not lived that life.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, a lesson learned. I definitely want to get back into therapy because I feel like I still have a lot of healing to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that, of course, healing is a journey. It's not I healed from this one experience. I think that you keep healing. So I want to get back into it. I'm definitely gonna keep looking for my perfect black therapist, and
period.
I think that we all people. I think that by the age of 30, we should all be into some sort of therapy, getting therapy, because
I'll say 35.
35? You think 35? I feel like 30 is when we hit our fuck, I am really an adult.
I feel like that's when women hit it.
Okay. I can agree.
So I'll say 35
with men. Okay.
Right. So I'll say, yeah, right. Because they not. 35 is when they start being like, damn, bitch.
Right.
Us. Damn, that's totally different. Even if they in shape, they like, God damn, woo, my knees didn't do what they used to do. So yeah, I would say 35 is a good place to be like, we're hitting the hump.
Yeah.
Because typically women, our bodies are at this highest peak producing eggs and everything to have babies at 30, right? And then we decline at 35.
Right.
So most time when we're declining and like reaching a peak and stuff, that's when men are first learning it. So I'm gonna say 35. Men 35 is an age of like when a man is, I would even go on the limit and say 35 is the age when a man is ready to get married. Yeah. Because I want you to figure yourself out, right? And be financially stable, emotionally stable, everything before you get to me. I'm not saying you have to be whole, but I need you to be
in that realm
to know what you want. And I think that's the biggest picture with all of this. And that's my synopsis. I'm probably like, you gotta know, for my opinion, is like you have to know what you want. That's the biggest thing. Know what you want, right?
Right.
Once you know what you want, there's an idea that you have to date a man that loves you more than you love him. And I've always heard that. Like, I think I might tell you how this way, like, you have to date a man who loves you more than you love him. But when I thought about it, and I'm sitting there thinking, it's like, I'm not that kind of woman. I don't want to date a man who loves me more than I love him. I like niggas to be up my ass. I want a nigga to smell me when, my nigga told me he smelled me when he was out. That made me, I was like, well, damn. I want a motherfucker I want to feel like you want me, right? I want to feel like you feel me. So like they say date a man who loves you more than you love him. But I also want to feel that back. There's nothing like feeling the same way somebody feels about them. So boom, you got a man who's up your ass, right? And he's smelling your ass. Because I love a man who's up my ass, right? I love that feeling. But what if I don't feel that same way? So now you got someone who's up your ass, but you don't have that same connection. So I can't say that.
Settle it.
Right. So now, exactly. You already know where I'm going with that. So now it's settling. So here's my opinion. It's going to be toxic. Don't settle until your second or third marriage. The first time you get married, marry for love. Everybody knows that. You marry for love the first time. The second and third time, you marry that don't mean you don't love him. But it's like, we're getting to like comfortability and all that shit another time. But what I'm saying is, and the bitch agree with what she like.
That's what I'm saying. Nah, I ain't saying nothing because what I won't do is disagree. I won't disagree.
You got to the older lady had told me that one time when I was in Sephora, she had told me, she had said, marry the man who love you more than you love him. And then I was like, well, bitch, what if I don't like him? And like, we live in an era where like, we gotta feel that energy. And then me personally, like, I gotta feel that energy. I gotta like you how you like me. So at least for the first time I get married, I want to feel like enthralled. And if I do it backwards and I'm married opposite, then cool, that's how life happens. But what I'm saying is, you should at least strive to love the person you want to be with. I think it's cap to find a man that loves you more than you love him. You know why? Because you'll never be happy.
Never.
And my goal is
He's never gonna satisfy you.
He's never gonna satisfy you. Whether it's financially, mentally, physically, there's something missing as to why you don't feel how you feel. Right. So like, I'ma say that you need to like find somebody that you love. Like, baby girl, if you only want to get married one time, like we said, know what you want, right? Once you know what you want, you can marry what you want. And be okay with that. Don't settle because you feel like that's what you're supposed to do. Be happy. And I've had some people like, oh, he's a good man. He does this, he does that, he does that. But are you happy?
Right.
That's what matters.
Yep. I agree.
In the long run, that's what matters. If you are not fulfilled within y'all, this life that we have, we don't know what's next. We don't know what's coming after. We don't know. We have ideas of the past life. You don't know these things.
You get one life in this
while you are in this, do what makes you happy. Don't marry nobody for 56 years who you don't fucking like or don't want to fucking look at.
And now you 56 and Paul died. And now you trying to look for what you wanted.
You're trying to get your old thing back.
And
so it's like I just think women, we're so easy to settle because we don't want to be like out back or be alone.
And you want to know something? I've said that before. Like, yeah, I'll just fucking settle. But
yeah,
like,
I know. On episode 160,
at 15.27 seconds, you said. But like, I've said it before. But like, I know in my heart of hearts that that's not what I want. And I know that my mom's never gonna let me do that. My Rolly, my treacherous twin and them is never gonna let me do that. They're always gonna remind me, like, you know you don't really like this, and you know you don't really want this, and you know that.
So she a bad bitch, not be telling her that. Like, if it ain't
you wanna know something? And speaking of that,
what?
I've had one nigga tell me in my life that, like, you know, I don't think that you realize how bad you are. And like, I took offense to it. And I'm gonna tell you why I took offense to it, but I understood his message. I took offense to it because he was like, you know, I've been in and out of jail for a while now, and like, I've dated the baddest of the baddest bitches. He was like, and you're that. He was like, but I can tell and I can see that you don't see that. He was like, but you bad as fuck. And I was just like, it felt like to me, like, you know, when niggas post like, I know my bitch not the baddest bitch, but you know,
why did it feel that way though?
Because it was like, I've dated the baddest of the BBL bitches.
Right, but he put you in that category, so why did it not feel that way?
It didn't feel that way because I didn't feel that way.
Right.
And so for me, it felt like I dated the baddest of the baddest bitches. And you not that, but you
but you heard the wrong thing though.
You
heard the wrong thing.
You're right, I did.
You heard the wrong thing. You heard everything else but what he said about you.
But what he said
about you.
Right. And then months later, I was just like, damn. And you know, I never told nobody that because it was just like this nigga told me that I want the baddest bitch, but I was the bad bitch in my mind.
He said you was the
right. But you know what I'm saying? He said, well, my bitch never forget. You know what I'm saying? And so then looking back, I was like, damn, he put me on that pedestal with those bitches, even though I'm not those bitches. And like, you know, I think that we all have a perception of what we think we look like and what we think we are and how we think other people perceive us. And then when they tell us, we don't believe them because in our minds, our perception is what stands. You know what I'm saying? And so I couldn't accept that. And I felt the way about it because I'm just like, so what you saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so now, I get what he's saying and I accept what he's saying and I feel it.
Do you?
No.
Okay. So you gotta walk in it. And that's the hardest thing. But it's not hard. And I'm not saying it's not hard like on surface level. I'm saying it's not hard in the sense of like, it's not hard. It's not hard. No, honestly, I'm saying it's not hard because honestly, like, you are that. You get what I mean? And I'm not saying it's not hard, like, oh, it won't be trials, or it won't be hard for you to figure out who you are, blah, 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 blah. I'm saying it's not hard because, baby, some people couldn't even do it on their worst days. Even on their best days, even if they try, right? So that's what makes it not hard because you have it. The only piece that's missing is you believing that you had it.
Right.
And that is the smallest piece. Like, whether we believe it or not, like, believing in ourselves is like, it's the biggest, it'll fucking conquer all. Like, honestly, and I really believe that.
That thing of you telling yourself, like, okay, I hope nobody takes this the wrong way. It's just like, you know, being that light-skinned girl that doesn't have the pretty hair or the pretty eyes, and it's just like, I'm just a light-skinned girl with a pretty face. I don't feel like I meet all the attributes of what. No. And that was then. I'm not saying that's how I feel now, but that was then how I felt like I'm just light-skinned.
But
I feel like I met the light-skinned standard.
But there's not,
and I felt like that my whole life.
But hold up, but you're not. But that's what you gotta realize. Because you are who you are. Okay, so pause before I begin to light skin shit, right? So because you are who you are, none of that stuff matters. You get what I'm saying? So you could be black as night, but you are who you are regardless. You are the woman you're supposed to be regardless. Right. You are loving, you are caring, you're a giver. You get what I'm saying? You have all the things that makes you a great person, right? What I'm trying to say is that, like, you being light skinned doesn't define you being a great person. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't make you good. Like, that doesn't make, so even if you get what I'm saying, like, you being like, well, because I'm light skinned, but I don't have this, but you shouldn't even be worried about what in this standard was my thing. Hold on. You shouldn't even be trying to fit the standard of a light-skinned woman. You should be trying to fit the standard as a great woman in general. Not even measuring up to a light-skinned. You being light-skinned doesn't make you better than anybody regardless. You get what I'm saying? Like, so that shouldn't be what you even put in your mold or standard of being a great woman. That you shouldn't even be calculating that. Like, oh, well, I'm light-skinned, but I don't have good hair. Why are you even thinking about the light-skinned part? You should be thinking about the fact of, like, you know what? I'm a good woman, I'm a good friend, I'm a giver, I'm smart, like, I have ideas, I'm funny.
But that comes from, because listen, I felt that way for a while, but I'm not saying that I feel that way today. But that comes from childhood trauma.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? From people being like, oh my God, I thought you supposed to have good hair.
Just the one thing you felt like you were supposed to.
I was supposed to meet that standard because I look like this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it came from the childhood trauma of me not meeting that standard, that it just grew with me.
Right.
And it's just like, I felt like that. I don't feel like that. I didn't even realize that I still felt like that in that moment.
Right.
When he was saying it. But of course now I've realized that, you know, I did carry that with me, and it was a subconscious belief.
Right.
I could sit here and I could give y'all face, and I could give y'all, you know, I think I'm a bad bitch all day, but in the back of my mind, I didn't realize that sat there.
Right. But what I think my main point in all is that, like, you shouldn't be considering your skin color in the amount of what you value yourself.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get that.
You shouldn't be like, oh, I'm light skinned, so I should have this, that, and the third. It shouldn't be about that. It's like the baddest light skinned bitches get cheated on. So
right.
like, you being light skinned is not gonna absolve you from being heartbroken.
In my heart of hearts, I don't think I feel like that. But I also hope that that's not how I come off, because I don't know what others' perception of me is. I don't put that out there. I try not to, at least.
I don't think you can. Okay, let me bring it back. So,
all right, y'all. Also, I'm not one to. My feelings don't get hurt easy.
Oh,
so
I know. Oh, I know you don't think. Now you know I know that. Like, I feel like if I'm offended by anything, I'm always like, I tell you, even if. I have a hard time, me personally, letting shit go, right? So I'll say something.
Also, if I feel like I offended anybody, her
or anybody, absolutely.
I'll bring it up to her.
Right, but what I will say is that, like, even in this moment where you're like, well, I hope I didn't come off that way, right? I don't think you came off that way, but you've done things where you felt like, I feel like you felt like your light-skinnedness should have made you superior to a situation.
Okay.
Go ahead, finish that first.
Okay, because you know what I'm doing, right?
Yeah, I know what you're doing, y'all. Don't worry, we gonna get these motherfucking chicken wings. We gonna get these wings. We'll get back. Like, listen, we're gonna get back on a motherfucking topic, but just know we here, y'all. We need y'all to stay tuned. We need y'all like follow and subscribe. Even if you just watching for the first time, go ahead and tune in because we here. We dive deep. We get on the surface. Let us know y'all favorite topics because we gonna be here. Period.
Okay.
So, y'all saying like, I feel like you've done things that, because like what you were just talking about, I feel like you've done things because you felt like you being light skinned should make you better than the situation.
Okay.
No, I want to know what you. I'm asking. I'm like, do you not?
I don't know if I've done it. I've done things consciously, and I've done things subconsciously, just like, okay, it's just like, but could I pinpoint?
Do you think you, okay, so here's the thing. So y'all gotta understand this. Me and Deja are friends. We're friends, so my perception of things and how others may perceive things may be totally different. So,
Skewed.
right. Well, I can't say my was skewed, because skewed is when you're looking at things. I don't think I'm looking at it wrong. Skewed's like, yeah. I'm like, so, like you said you feel like you've done things subconsciously and not subconsciously. So for me, I personally feel like you've done things that I personally felt like were like, hey, okay, so boom. So you say you felt like, I'm gonna recap everything. So you say you felt like that because you were light skinned, you should have like nice hair or whatever mold people felt you should fit, right? So for me, I felt like you've done things to perpetuate the stereotype of like, I'm light skinned, so I'm supposed to be this, right? So that's my perception. That's all I'm saying. It's like I personally feel like you've done things where I felt like you were pushing the stereotype of like, because you are light skinned, it's supposed to be better than whatever else is.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, we had a conversation about it.
How? Well, you know what? Yeah.
We gonna keep this and cut this, but
no. What I will say is that sometimes, most of the time, I remember every fucking thing, and then that 10% of the time that I forget shit is when we talk about it on here.
Right. So when we was at your house and you was talking to the guy on FaceTime and I kept saying I didn't want to be on the FaceTime, and I said and I kept saying I don't want to be on the FaceTime, like, because I was looking a mess. I don't know who was doing my hair or whatever, but I kept saying I don't want to be on the video, like I just wasn't feeling it. And then that was the era during that, what's that app called? You know what I'm talking about? Clubhouse. There's error doing Clubhouse, whatever. So I don't remember what she meant for my. I feel like it was like a Clubhouse type thing. I don't remember. But doing that, I remember this thing because I remember I guessed his birthday, like on the fucking nose. And then like after that, I personally felt like you were already talking to this person and you were asking him questions like, oh, well, do you like light-skinned girls? And I was like, well, it's a weird thing to ask somebody that's already talking to you.
I remember that.
And you're light skinned. So like that's a weird question to ask. Like, with your, not your first best friend, but damn near your second best friend who's dark skinned. It's a weird question to ask.
And that was just me speaking out of the side of my fucking face. Because whenever she mentioned it, you know, when you just talking.
I mentioned it twice because I couldn't get over it. Also,
yeah.
I'm trying to be clear about this. Like,
whenever she mentioned it, I was like, what? But it was just like, also, I didn't even realize, I was just so busy talking to a nigga that I couldn't even tell you what that nigga name was to this day. I was just so into it, like, you know, I don't feel that way. When I first started talking to a nigga, my first thing is like, you don't only date light skin, because I know in the back of my mind I don't like niggas who only date light skin, but that's weird to me because I don't.
Right.
my preference may be dark skin, but I don't only date dark skin niggas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when she brought it up after the fact, I was just like so disgusted with myself that I couldn't even believe that I did that. But you know, so trying to impress a nigga, that's not an excuse for my actions, but I'm still disgusted to this day about that. And I will apologize. And I still,
you don't gotta apologize again. You already apologize.
But I'm disgusted
to me,
even the thought of it.
But you know what? But how I always feel, and even how I felt then, right? Even in that moment, I was annoyed, and I brought it up. Like, I feel like me and Deja have gone through things in our friendship, not like traumatic fucking things, but like things where we both were offended, or I was mainly me. I'm probably more offended. I can think 9 times out of 10, the things that have happened were things with me. I get offended, but I will tell you that I'm offended by shit or whatever, because it's like, I feel like, even if, so for me, like, with my friendships or relationships, even if I'm not giving what you expect me to give, or if you're looking for more out of me, you gotta tell me what you want more from me. And that's, let's be clear, like, certain things have happened in our friendships where I felt like she wanted more out of me, but like, those were things I did not know. Right. So like, I can accept, I'm always like, I'm not unapproachable. Like, you can tell me like that, hey, like, I didn't like how you, so like I'm saying, like, in that moment, like, I felt like I wasn't more so annoyed that like I don't feel like Deja feels like, oh, she's a colorist. Like, I don't have like, that's not like my perception, like, type thing. My perception was more so of, in that moment, I'm always just like, and like how I have been, like, even when we were together, there was times when I was like, oh, well, I feel like I'm always like an advocate for Deja, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. I feel like
appreciative for her.
Most of our things was like, I'm telling you, like, bitch,
this bitch is one of the most confident bitches I've ever met in my life. Anybody that I've ever been a lot of people are intimidated by the confidence that she exudes, and I love that shit.
And it's like, and it's not even intentional confidence. You get what I'm saying?
She's just so, I love that
so
shit.
In that moment, I'm just like, I want to tell her how I feel, because I can't let go of shit. I always say, I can't let go of shit when I'm feeling to her, or when I feel a certain kind of way. So if I feel like Deja is intentionally like a mean person, no. It's not super fun. I feel like when everybody's going to certain of our insecurities start to pop out. And things that we don't even realize that we're even insecure about. And that shit start to pop out, and we say shit or come off a certain way that it didn't mean to come. Yeah. It's like how she said, like, oh, like, I feel like I was supposed to live up to this standard of a light-skinned woman that I did not live up to, or I feel like me personally am supposed to live up to the standard of a woman who's supposed to, you know what I'm saying, like, certain gifts, certain things that I didn't live up to, you know what I mean? So it's like, I didn't take it as completely like, oh, well, she hate because I'm Dustin. I took it as like, this is my friend. I wanted to feel like, I don't ever want us to feel like we ever competing for nobody or competing for no nigga at the end of the day, because like, we all bad bitches. I said like, I love my friend.
First of all, we went after one nigga at the same time, and we was both like, bitch, we're the best of bitch. We win. Okay. And it was just like, it was never no he was married. We didn't know that at the time. All we saw was this fine ass man at the bar, and he was buying the drinks.
I don't want to talk about it.
A good time.
It was a hard time for me.
And we both looked at each other. We were just like, bitch, that nigga fine. Whoever the best bitch is, win. And we did it, and she won. And it was just like, bitch, you did that shit.
He wasn't fine.
He was fine.
And married. He probably still watching my shit to this day. He was like, I want y'all to understand, that is the one nigga I dated who was like, y'all know I was catfishing. That nigga was catfishing.
He was.
We'll talk about it in depth on another episode, but when I tell y'all that man went to Paris, quote unquote, and disappeared off the face of the earth, and then came back like nothing happened, and then disappeared again, I wouldn't even know. He probably still following me on social media. I really wouldn't even know a thing. I wouldn't know where that man was. I would not know a thing. Sorry to that man.
Oh.
That being said, We gonna wrap this week's episode up. We gonna tell y'all, listen, you gotta love yourself and love your friends.
Love yourself.
And know what your worth is. Date up, cause we told y'all that a long time ago. Date up. And if you're not dating, it is okay to be alone. And when you're alone or with someone, you can go to therapy, because you know what? Therapy heals you. Okay? You can get whatever you want. Be soft with your partner, because that is an ultimate goal of mine. Don't be going back and forth and arguing and being combative. There's nothing like a man who is mad at you but will still take care of you. There's nothing like a man who is upset with you, a man or woman. Man or woman who is upset with you, but who will still open your door, who will still ask if you're okay, who will still kiss you before they leave the house. That's what real love is to me. Being soft and not being having to be combative and always in defensive mode with the person that you love. Have your non-negotiables and love people how they want to be loved, not how you want to love them.
Ooh, that's the biggest one. Love people how they want to be loved. Y'all heard everything she fucking said. I agree with her and I stand with her, and I am a firm believer of it.
Period.
Keep people where they at. And
this is another episode.
Such a fucking lady, the podcast.
Peace.
I am Shawty Red, and that is.
Oh, not a wrap-up name, and I am Chef Taya.
We ain't do it in the beginning.
We did.
No. We
okay, well they know what the fuck we is.
We about to eat these chicken wings because they here,
Y'all already fucking know. Bye.
Bye.
Such a fucking lady.